Hi, I'm Claire from Wild Ginger Running, the trail and ultra running YouTube channel, and this is my review of the Garmin Fenix 6S Pro Solar GPS watch. This film is sponsored by Vert.Run, the training platform for trail and ultra runners. For just £4.50 per week, that's $6 US, train like a pro with Vert's programs designed by top trail runners Lucy Bartholomew, Ryan Sands, Ruth Croft, Hilary Allen, and more. Sign up today at Vert.Run and get 40% off your first month with code WildGinger40. You're welcome. So the whole Garmin Fenix range boasts a dazzling array of amazingly useful features for trail and ultra runners. So is this solar version the icing on the cake in getting a few extra days battery life out of your GPS watch? Maybe. It all depends on how long you're outside and how sunny it is. For this solar version, you're paying £140 more than the standard Fenix 6 Pro, which is £600. So this review will help you work out if it's worth it for you personally, or if you'd be just as happy with a less expensive watch lower down the Fenix range. So later on in this review, I also recommend some even less expensive watches around the £300 and then the £130 mark for runners that don't need the Fenix features. So skip to the verdict if you think that's more your bag. As with all the gear I test on this channel, Garmin sent me this watch, but they have absolutely no control over what I say in this review, and I will have to send it back afterwards. And if you enjoy this review, click like and let me know in the comments below what running watch you've been wearing lately. Are you an all singing, all dancing, give me all the stats kind of runner, or do you balk at even putting on a retro Casio with a stopwatch? Let me know. And if you fancy buying any of these or any of the other models that I mentioned in this film, then the links are in the film description below. Clicking on these links and buying absolutely anything in the world, not just running gear, will give me a very tiny percentage of the sale at no cost to you. So thank you very much if you do this. So we'll get on to the whole solar business in just a moment, but first I want to explain the main reason, in my opinion, why trail and ultra runners in particular will be really interested in the Garmin Fenix range. It's the exceptional on-screen navigation features compared to the competition. You can actually see a simplified map on the watch face rather than the blank screen with a breadcrumb trail that Coros display. Suunto are catching up with their phone app and map display on the watch face, so I look forward to testing theirs in the future too. So most of the watches in the Garmin Fenix range include this built-in colour mapping, so you can use them as a sat-nav for your off-road running, giving you turn-by-turn navigation with the backdrop of an actual map on your wrist. So, solar panels aside, this watch face mapping is the main reason that I would recommend the Garmin for trail and ultra runners. But now, how does the solar bit work? So the Fenix 6S Pro Solar has got two solar panels, one around the outside that absorbs 100% of the light that hits it, and one behind the actual screen itself that absorbs 10% as the display covers it up a little bit. So you can see how much power the watch is absorbing from the sun with the wheel on the watch face and the solar intensity tab on the watch itself, which shows the last 6 hours. Then in the Garmin Connect app, you can look back and see what the solar intensity was on any given day. So this is Garmin's first step into solar panels, and right now they don't fully power this watch, but rather assist the battery life, a bit like a hybrid car. It still needs charging from the mains, but the idea is that it's not as often. So having used this watch in the winter in the UK, I'm gonna stick my neck out here and give you my honest opinion. So I don't think paying £140 more for the solar version of the Fenix 6 Pro is worth it during this season, unless you work or train outside a great deal. So the solar panels are a great feature, and they easily add extra days of battery life for those who live in sunny places or who are working or training outdoors all day. But especially in the UK in the winter, if you work inside and then run mostly in the dark after work like I do, in my opinion, this feature doesn't warrant the extra cash for you. You'd be better off buying the £600 Fenix 6 Pro without the solar and a good quality lightweight portable charger like my favourite, the Flip 10 from Goal Zero here for just £22. So the other thing about using this solar watch in the winter is that to keep warm, you're often wearing a long sleeve top or a jacket over the top of it. So during testing, I had to keep remembering to uncover it to try and absorb the meager sunlight fighting through the clouds and putting up with a cold wrist. On an overcast winter day, the Garmin Connect app records that I got a tiny amount of solar charge during my hour-long-ish runs, and on a sunny day, running for an hour, you can really see that spike up, but nowhere does it exactly tell you just how much battery life this translates to. And this is further complicated by the different power settings that you can have on this watch. You can edit these to restrict things like music, GPS tracking level, and connectivity to your phone to eke as much juice from the watch as possible. Garmin has a nice table for the battery life here, and when it refers to the extra time from solar power, it means assuming you've worn it all day and taken it outside for 3 hours in 50,000 lux conditions, which means a nice bright sunny day like this one. So using the GPS turn-by-turn navigation feature on your runs is one of the major battery drains, and music even more so. So if you wanted to use just the turn-by-turn navigation on an ultra-distance run without the music, it would last you 25 hours normally, and then 28 hours if you manage to get 3 hours of good sunlight within that time frame. So if you wanted to just track an ultra or a multi-dayer using the max battery GPS mode, you can get a much more impressive 50 hours out of it, and then a further 14 hours with 3 hours of good sun. And the bigger the watch case, the longer the battery life, with the regular and X versions of the Fenix 6 Pro. So it's making progress, but you'd still need to pack that portable charger or have access to mains power for a week-long multi-dayer, unless it was very sunny all the time that you were outside with it for. So the solar panels are not adding loads of battery life. For example, I left this stationary in the sun for 3 hours earlier today, and it still read 8 days of battery life for the all guns blazing mode that it was set on. It clearly gave the watch some juice, but how much? Who knows? Maybe 3 hours, as per the second row down in the Garmin battery tower table. It's quite difficult to test and measure this. So one sunny day last week, the watch was running low, and then it died on me after my run. And although I was still then out in the sun for three more hours on a photo shoot, it wasn't enough to breathe back any life into it. So Garmin don't claim that the watch can do this. It was just something that I wanted to test out because it seems like this would be a really useful feature in a solar powered watch. I've seen from other reviews that the Casio GBD H1000 GPS watch can power up from 0 after just a few hours left in the sun and pretty much get sustainable power from its solar panels. However, in terms of a watch for trail and ultra runners, it's got nowhere near the amount of features nor the navigation capabilities of the Garmin Fenix 6 Pro. So I'm not suggesting this Casio watch as a substitute here, just merely exploring what can be done with solar powered watches, and I'm excited to see Garmin's next steps in this area. The other thing to understand is that you get the best solar charging from watches like these when they're left flat and stationary in direct sunlight. But who wants to leave a 740-pound watch lying around outside? It's a recipe for it to get borrowed, your dog or your toddler to eat it, or more likely in my case, forget where it is or that it exists entirely and run off or drive home without it. So although I want to be really excited about a watch that runs on eco-friendly sun power, the concept is amazing. I'm not sure that this is there yet for UK use in winter, and possibly therefore also a wide variety of our most common weather conditions throughout the year. What I would really like to do is test this watch on one of my summer multi-day trips, and I think that is where this kind of top-up charging would really come into its own. But even then, you never know how much sun you're going to get, so I'd have to take a portable charger anyway for guaranteed power. So we're almost at the verdict. Should you or shouldn't you go for the solar panelled version of the Fenix 6 Pro? But first, we must cover the eco and the ethics, as I'm doing this for all my reviews now so that you can make more informed choices about the future of our planet. For watches, it's going to be the recycling and ethical sourcing of the rubber, the metals and the packaging. So buying secondhand is always a nice move, and selling or gifting your old watch to another runner helps out too. Eco and ethics wise for Garmin, all Garmin's watches are built to last. They're really durable with scratch resistant screens, and many of the hopefully few faults can be repaired. The packaging is mainly cardboard with no plastic, and on their website they claim to be committed to ethical and sustainable practices. For example, they comply with WEEE, the Waste Electrical and Electronic Equipment Directive. Why is this not called weed? And they adhere to local electronic recycling laws as well. So the verdict: the Garmin Fenix 6S Pro Solar GPS watch is an amazing piece of kit that is definitely for you if you have 1. Plenty of money, 2. Live in a sunny place, 3. Spend a lot of time outdoors, and 4. Want as much performance enhancing data as possible from a watch, including top of the range navigation, music, safety and tracking features, and connectivity with all your emails and your notifications. If you don't live in a typically sunny place and spend a lot of time indoors, but do want all those amazing features that I've just mentioned, especially the top-end Garmin navigation, then save yourself £140 and go for the Fenix 6 Pro S or X versions without the solar panels at £600, or the Forerunner 945 also has the mapping at £520, and invest in a £22 portable charger like my favourite here, the Flip 10 from Goal Zero. If you're happy with your navigation on a blank screen with a breadcrumb trail and you don't need a ton of lifestyle tracking features, check out the £300 Coros Apex in my review here, as it has an outstanding battery life without any solar panels, and it's just got the essential features a runner needs. If you're an old school map navigator, or you don't need any navigation features and you just want to track the essential basics like heart rate, distance, pace, and do some interval sessions, then the £130 Garmin Forerunner 35 is for you. And finally, if you don't need such detailed navigation features and just want to see simply where you've run, how far and how fast, just use the Strava app on your phone for free. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this review, click like and leave me a comment about whether you are a total watch Luddite or whether you enjoy tech to rival the International Space Station on your wrist like this one. And if you fancy treating yourself to this one or any of the other watches that I've recommended, the links to buy are in the film description below. And if you buy anything, it doesn't have to be running gear, after clicking on these links, it will give me a very tiny percentage of the sale at no cost to you. So thank you very much if you do this. So I hope this review has made your watch choice a little simpler. Next, I'll be reviewing the Forerunner 245 Music, the Coros Pace 2, and further down the line, the Forerunner 945. So stay tuned and I'll see you on the trails. This film is sponsored by Vert.Run, the training platform for trail and ultra runners. For just £4.50 per week, that's $6 US, train like a pro with Vert's programs designed by top trail runners Lucy Bartholomew, Ryan Sands, Ruth Croft, Hilary Allen, and more. Sign up today at Vert.Run and get 40% off your first month with code WildGinger40. You're welcome. If you enjoyed this film, click like and subscribe to Wild Ginger Running YouTube channel if you don't want to miss out on any more gear reviews, interviews with top athletes, exercises and inspirational places to run off-road as well. See you on the trails.